So NASCAR season heads to Championship 4 at Phoenix this weekend. Uh, Bad day for Checo Perez at his home race in Mexico. We'll go more into that. And a couple of guys walked home with a new clock in Martinsville. We'll go into that. And this is F4 Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Eric Richardson.
And thank you all who are watching and watching on Stadium Scene TV on Saturdays. So thanks again for tuning in. So Eric and I, before this, were experimenting with a new feature we may bring. We don't have it quite right yet, so we're not ready to roll it out. Got a few things we need to test, but I think add a different dynamic to the show every once in a while. It's going to be a pain to set this up, but could add a level of uniqueness to the show that we, that could really push this thing forward. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it could have fun and it fits our personalities.
It does.
It's
and I
wild
think
and ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think if we find the right guests, it's, have you seen that guy who does the interview show where he makes like people take like shots of hot sauce as he asks like progressively tougher questions?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's like that, but slightly different. But anyway, where do we start?
I don't know. Interesting race in Formula One.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin's mad at people again.
And his 11 fans.
Yep.
Then he changed. Then he later number 11 fans. Denny,
So
I know
much.
he wrote. He like rage tweeted after the race last about thank you to my 11 fans. And someone's like, I know you're unlikable, Denny, but I figure you'd have more than 11 fans. Oh man. Did you see the meme this week, the circle of Denny Hamlin's season? And it's like wins a few races, cruises through the playoffs, chokes away chance to win, end of season, and it's over and over again.
What, in the first round set a record for like lowest like position or highest position?
Yeah, rough time for Denny. So our championship 4 are Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and race winner from over the weekend, Ryan Blaney. It's funny too. Like I when we made our top 4 pick, our championship 4 picks, I did not pick Blaney, but I put a $5 prop bet on my sports betting app that is legal in this state, by the way. That Blaney would make the championship 4. I also put $5 on Byron making on Larson making the championship 4. So that got paid out a while ago. So, money wise, I'm 2 for 2. I'll take it.
Yeah, Blaney had a great run.
Looked really good. But
he's come on 2 wins in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's had a bounce back season this year where last year people were kind of writing him off like, okay, maybe he's a little overrated. It's like he kind of backed into the playoffs on points, and
although he led the season in points.
Yes, right. Yeah, exactly. Which we won't get you started on that.
Nope. Everybody listening, you know where I stand on that already.
You are not a fan of the playoff format of any kind. Otherwise, it was a lot cleaner than the Xfinity race. That's for sure. Did you get a chance to see any of that?
I saw highlights of the last lap Xfinity.
and the post-race RCR meltdown.
And Andy Petrie yelling at Sheldon Creed. And him saying, I'm glad I'm leaving.
And Richard Childress saying that he's one of the Sheldon Creed's like the stupidest driver he's ever employed, or something to that extent.
Yeah, you're racing for a win.
Have you ever seen an established team melt down like that before?
Some, but not like that.
You see like internal fighting amongst like teams, like that's happened before, but I mean, could you imagine like Rick Hendrick or Roger Penske or I mean, he's not there, Chip Ganassi, uh, or Joe Gibbs or somebody like that saying that Denny Hamlin's the dumbest driver I've ever employed, or
Richard Childress has been around long enough. He doesn't even care at this point, probably.
yeah. I mean, he's going to continue to employ his grandson, and I mean, poor Sheldon Creed, man. He's told, he hasn't won in Xfinity yet. He's been in Xfinity for what, full time for what, three seasons, I think.
Something.
He won a truck championship. The guy's obviously a talented driver. He had so many close calls this year. Like Daytona, he finished second by that much. He finished second at Martinsville by that much. And they said, like, you need the win to get in. Austin Hill can get in on points if he finishes second. And, they get into it on the last lap. They take each other out. Now, neither of them make the championship four. And all the blame was put on Sheldon Creed. And, it's like he was told to win. Do what you have to win.
Yeah, they're both moving each other.
Yeah,
really moving a teammate up high. That's tough.
It's like I understand you want to win, but like Austin Hill deserves blame here too. Like you didn't need to do that. Like you could have finished second and you both would have got in. Now neither of you are going. And and then afterwards with Andy Petrie caught on hot mic screaming at him. And Sheldon Creed just kind of stand there like, whatever, dude. I'm out of here after this year anyway. So Sheldon was probably the big winner in that whole fiasco. Everyone was ripping Childress for his comments, and Andy Petrie's like, you've been in the business for 40 years and you're just an Xfinity guy still. They're ripping him. And people are like, you know what? I hope Sheldon goes to Joe Gibbs next year. I don't know which car he's going to be driving. Oh, probably the 18 because Sammy Smith is switching teams. But it's like, I hope Sheldon goes to Joe Gibbs and just absolutely dominates. And that's the place to do it.
It'd be kind of funny to see.
I hope he does. Like I met him in March. Seems like a really nice guy. Still, I mean, he's what, 25, 26 years old. Still pretty young. I hope for the best for him because that wasn't fair. It wasn't right. And it's like, look, if you want to go behind closed doors in the hauler and rip him a new one into his face over how that went, fine. I'm sure that happens all the time in auto racing.
Cameras and people everywhere.
Like you can't.
It's not going to end well.
You can't do that. Like nobody won. Like Sheldon Creed won that, and all he did was get himself just absolutely, reamed a new one, and he just kind of said, whatever. Can't wait to leave this place.
Hey, if you didn't have the playoffs, it would have been okay.
I mean, he probably wouldn't even been a contender for a title at that point, but still, like, it was ugly. And I just didn't like what I saw. I thought it was extremely unprofessional. And even behind closed doors, those comments are unprofessional, but at least it would be behind closed doors.
Not to mix up our behind closed doors series.
Yes.
We keep it professional.
Yes, trademark FR Racing LLC. We'll sue if you.
We should trademark that. Although I think it's too common.
That might be a challenge. I mean, if we went behind closed doors racing league, probably get that. But we're already having enough challenges in ourselves getting FR Racing trademarked. But cross our fingers. Hopefully we should be across the finish line with that soon. But hopefully. Yeah, that's been fun. Moral of the story, obviously protect, if you suspect like, you're going to own intellectual property, protect it, register it, go through the process, but get a lawyer to help you with that, because I tried without, and it came back just destroyed by the USPTO. Like, you just didn't do this right. and they purposely make the application complicated. It's written by lawyers for lawyers in lawyer language. And lawyer, I took it to a lawyer, and the lawyer basically said, yeah, everyone who tries to do it themselves, who's never done one before, makes the same mistake. So this is what it is.
Sometimes you just gotta live and learn.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
But it's it's just, hopefully across the finish line, going through those last handful of stages now. Cross your fingers that nobody goes and publicly objects to it. That is kind of a funny process that they basically will publish in a database that says we're about to give a registered trademark to this entity. If it's like a wedding, it's like if anyone objects, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or it's not how it works in the business world, but at least you've got 30 days to argue why. And 99 out of 100 times, no one says a thing. And then it goes through, and all is well. And for those, I don't think I've even actually publicly shared this yet, but like, I own the registered trademark for Stadium Scene. We got that back in April of this year. Yeah, April 25th. So we got that certificate. Hopefully have a second certificate here soon.
Hopefully somebody like Furniture Row or Front Row Racing.
Well, Furniture Row Racing's gone. They're
gone.
They're done. I mean, Front Row Motorsports is there, but they call themselves FRM, so shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it should be good.
Oh man. Yeah, anything else on the Xfinity or Cup?
Denny Hamlin is mad at Joey Logano because he raced Ty Gibbs too hard, and always somebody else's fault.
Well, Joe Gibbs, I don't think it's even close. Joe Gibbs, how many cars does he have? Is he running a 3-car team?
I think so.
I'm drawing a blank on who his third car would be. I mean, it's Hamlin, it's Ty Gibbs, and it is a third. I can't think of it. We are.
We're very dumb for not saying it right away.
That's right. If you're watching, you can see us frantically looking this up. If you're listening,
Truex.
Oh, duh.
I thought.
It's 4. He's got 4 drivers. He's got Christopher Bell too. Duh. I gotta, man.
This is what happens when it's late at night when we do this, and it's been a long day.
And there's some beer, and yesterday when we don't do this live on Fridays, but yesterday was Halloween. My kids, it was like 8:00. I'm like, can we go home now, please? But between walking the kids to school and trick or treat, I walked like almost 8 miles yesterday, and I got home and I'm just like, I want to go to bed, but I don't feel like going to bed. And then I ended up not going to bed until after midnight. It was like, oh. Then I was up at 6 like I usually am. Anyway,
stuff happens.
Yeah, life happens. So speaking of Christopher Bell, there was another meme this week that was pretty funny that said Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell are in your championship 4 as they frantically beg Phoenix Raceway to become a dirt track this weekend. Like, that's good. Like that. I will be heading there Saturday. I'm gonna go to the Xfinity race, go to the Xfinity Championship. We'll see how long we stay. And hopefully longer than 3 laps this time. It's the spring race. Anyway, Formula 1. Who won the race? Oh yeah.
Max.
Again.
What was that race win number 15 on the year?
Yeah. And then there was a good point that was made on, I can't remember if it was during a race or if it was one of the practices, and I don't even know who said it, but they're like, people are getting upset with Max winning all the time, but it's just like, do you realize what you are witnessing in person right now with your own eyes? Like this is just such a next level elite, probably once in a lifetime level of driving that you're seeing and domination. And it's just like, yeah, okay, so Max comes off as not very personable sometimes and a little arrogant, and people have very
Pretty
opinions
much
of
has
it.
every right to be arrogant.
Yeah,
Though.
well, I mean, now, yeah, absolutely he does. When you're winning every race by, double-digit seconds, like, you can be arrogant. Like, he's as good as advertised. It's not arrogance, like that. He's just that good, and
There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence.
yeah, yes, there is. But it's just like, when you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, like we are watching an elite level of greatness that we, once this kind of, I mean, eventually he'll fall back to earth one way or the other. They'll either get a
Their other
bad
cars will
car.
catch up, or
Yeah, they catch up, or a bad car, or a string of bad luck, or maybe gets bored and leaves Formula One.
Yeah, we haven't seen this, and even with like Michael Schumacher,
Yeah, I
Ayrton
mean,
Senna, this
even
is
Lewis
crazy.
Hamilton's dominating years like that. This has never happened like this. Yeah, there's still 3 races left.
They were showing the points, even if you combine second and third, Max is still leading the championship.
And the other one I saw today is that Checo is closer to Nick DeVries in the standings, who has 0 points, than he is to Max.
Mm-hmm.
So poor Checo, man. That guy cannot catch a break.
Yeah, looking at it, I think you are right. He maybe pushed it a little too much there going into turn one.
That was
It did look like he turned down too early on your favorite Cha.
I mean, I think we've learned by now that 3 wide into turn one of any course on lap one.
Usually that outside car gets punted.
Yeah, I mean that happened with Lewis a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to Checo. His car went airborne. That was pretty cool. So it's like Red Bull does give you wings, but in this case, that was pretty wild.
He's on what, one wheel?
Yeah. And Kevin Magnussen had a hard hit.
I didn't see that one actually.
Yeah, it was a hard hit, and he got out of the car, and they were concerned about, like, is he okay? Because that was a pretty hard hit. And he got out and he climbed up the wall where he was sitting and kind of sat on this like guardrail. And then he got back down on the ground and it's like, I'm not sure he's okay. Like, that was a hard hit, but it sounds like he was okay. Both Aston Martin's DNF, and they've had a tale of 2 seasons. Did you hear the rumor on Aston Martin?
Oh, for a couple things.
That Lawrence Stroll is looking at selling the team.
Yep.
And allegedly a shock move of Fernando Alonso taking over the second Red Bull seat.
Mm-hmm.
What? Can you imagine those two as team, as Max and Fernando Alonso as teammates?
It'd be wicked.
You want to talk about the end of the Red Bull era of dominance? I don't know. I don't know if the egos of those two could fit inside a single single garage stall.
Oh, his left tire just like came unhinged and kicked him.
Yeah, he just plowed right into that wall. Someone said there was a meme. It was Kevin Magnussen's tires, and there was it was him, and then there were 3 Max faces, and then the other tire was Checo. Oh, that poor man. And of course, it had to happen in Mexico, his home race. Fans were upset and booing Cha. when they were doing the post-race interviews. And he's like, sorry, like, what was I supposed to do? He tried to go 3 wide. Like, I couldn't go anywhere. I was sandwiched in between the two of them.
It's at least makes you feel a little bit better when you see a 3 wide on turn 1, lap 1 in Formula One when it happens in iRacing on a rookie league.
Yeah, bleep, 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 bleep.
Because it is true. You can't win a race on lap 1, but you can lose it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, man, that was wild. Kind of wish iRacing would be able to scan that Mexico course.
Looks like a fun track, especially
It
driving
does.
through that stadium.
Yeah, that's the coolest part, where you're just kind of like split the bleachers there. That was really cool.
That'd be a lot of fun to have.
We've got Brazil coming up this weekend.
And the one everybody's waiting on.
And we got Las Vegas. Let's look and see what the one of these sports books actually has the odds to be the highest finisher, not named Max Verstappen, as one of the bets. It's like, okay. All right. So coming up here this weekend, let's take a look. Wow, that's a so Caesars has a plus 1,500 bet. Plus 1,500. John Hunter Nemechek wins the Xfinity Series championship race, and Christopher Bell wins the Cup Series race. I don't think I'm taking that one. They have to win. It's not the championship. They have to win. Each of them have to win the race this weekend. I don't see that happening.
Does one of the championship 4 win the race? Or does
they're
put a spoiler?
They're both in the championship 4. So if you put $10 on that, that would pay $160. But I just don't see that happening.
This will be fun to see if one of those 4 in each of the leagues can take it, or if somebody plays a spoiler to the season champion.
Plus 350. Kevin Harvick, top 3 finish in his final race. I don't see that either. If you want to take BJ McLeod winning the race on Sunday, $5 would pay you $25,005.
That's why it's almost just worth it to give him $5.
Ryan Newman driving the Rick Ware 51 has the same odds. JJ Yeley, Todd Gilliland, Corey LaJoy is plus 300,000. $5 there will pay you $15,000 if Corey LaJoy wins at Phoenix. Oh man, could you imagine if that happened?
It'd be awesome.
Michael McDowell is plus 150,000, so that your $5 would pay you $7,500.
I'd be all right with that. Take away about half of it after taxes.
That's at least feasible. Yeah, your top 4 favorites to win: Larson, Blaney, Byron, Bell, in that order.
Let's see. I got 2 of my predictions into the championship 4.
Yeah, I got 3 out of 4.
Didn't have Bell or Blaney. I had Hamlin and Busher. Busher's kind of long shot though.
Yeah, he didn't. That wasn't good. So your top 4 for the Truck Series: Carson Hocevar, Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, and Zane Smith. don't have any open bets right now. I swear I did. Yep, Ryan
Oh,
Blaney.
race.
I put $5 to make the championship 4, paid me 12.
Made money.
Yeah, since I started gambling again, I'm up like plus $100. Like, why didn't I start doing this sooner? I told my wife, I said, maybe I should just cash out of my stock market account and just start using that money to bet on sports instead. And she looked at me like,
Probably didn't go over very well.
yeah, she looked at me like, are you nuts? And I said, you know what? Honestly, I would trust me betting on sports more than me betting on the stock market right now. Have you seen what the stock market's done the last couple of weeks? It's like even if I get 1/3 of them right, I'm going to be doing better than my stock market. My stocks are. Jeez.
Yeah, auto racing is about the only thing I can bet on.
It's auto racing is so tough because a baseball, like if you take the money line, it's there's 2 teams that can win that game. On a NASCAR race, there's 36 drivers that could potentially win that race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, there's maybe 15 drivers that could potentially win the race. And unless you're at like a super speedway and you get that fluke occasional, like Trevor Bayne being in the right place at the right time and Michael McDowell pulling ahead as the caution flag on the final lap comes out. It's just, but yeah, it's so much tougher to just pick a winner in auto racing. That's kind of why I stick away from it because it's just.
I'm more limited because of NCAA rules.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say anything there. I want to keep my job.
Yeah.
NCAA, I like you.
I mean, I don't work for the NCAA, or I have nothing to do with the NCAA, so I can throw. I bet like $5 and $10 here and there, and
it's one thing I actually don't understand. It's like I'm not involved in football.
Yeah, right. What
does it matter?
Yeah, it's like I mean, I guess I understand keeping it uniform, but it's like I'm not sure there's a sports betting. You're at a smaller school. I don't think there's a sports betting market anywhere in the world that's going to have your team or your school in the. But could you imagine that people could bet on your swim meets?
Yeah, then that would be an issue if I was betting on those.
Yeah, but it's just like
if I wanted to put a $5 bet on Purdue here to
lose. No, they're gonna lose. Yeah,
still Purdue fan. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
me too. I gave them a lot of money.
What I do, I'm going to have any bearing whatsoever on the outcome of that game.
No, not at all. It's on a side note, did you see that? With that whole sign stealing scandal at Michigan that's being investigated right now. Did you see the latest with Central Michigan? What happened? Allegedly,
I heard about it, but I haven't read it.
So this is for those who haven't seen this. This assistant coach was suspended because he was buying tickets and having people, and then he was on like StubHub, and he was transferring the tickets to people, and they were going to the game and sitting on the 45-yard line opposite of Michigan's upcoming opponent and recording their signs and then taking the videos back, which is against NCAA rules. You can't do that. And allegedly, the timing of it is around the time that Michigan stopped losing every game. And one of the only games they've lost in the last 2 years was the one where the team kind of was tipped off that their signs were being stolen and made up phony signs that weekend to screw them up. And they TCU. It was TCU. They upset Michigan. So, but the question is like, Jim Harbaugh's like, I don't know anything about that. And the problem is this assistant is spending more on these tickets than he makes in his salary. Every year he's buying like premium seats that are really expensive every week and multiple seats at times. And but apparently a photo surfaced from a Michigan State Central Michigan game from the beginning of this year. It was week 1. And there's a man standing on the Central Michigan sideline in a Central Michigan shirt and hat that might actually have been the Michigan assistant. And he's on the field with credentials on the Central Michigan sideline. And they're like, if that's really him, how did he get there? And Central Michigan's like, I have no idea who that guy is. So
Well, there's
now,
even kind of story behind it that they were giving signs to opponents of highly ranked teams that were by then that could have bumped them out of the playoffs.
yeah, and yeah, so I think this is going to get really messy for Michigan one way or the other. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh loses his job over this, but they allegedly they had a huge contract extension waiting for him that has been temporarily taken off the table pending the
If
results of this.
basically, if they find that Michigan did this, even if Harbaugh had no oversight on it, he's probably still going to get popped with basically a institutional control.
Yep.
Because as a head coach, you do have full oversight of everything and need to have the knowledge of what your assistants and team is doing.
Yep.
And
not fair, but it is what it is.
No, I get it. I mean, I have people doing stuff that they shouldn't, and I've told them otherwise. It unfortunately ultimately comes back on me.
Yeah.
But I think the NCAA would probably come down on it too, and I would not be surprised if they basically levied the death penalty on Michigan.
And on top of that, Harbaugh was already suspended once this year for what was it, 4 games over buying lunch for recruits.
Yeah, I think it was recruiting violations.
Yeah. So tough times ahead for Michigan, possibly. But anyway, I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting out to the track this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
It's only it's not a balanced schedule, so it's like I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, okay, so I go to the track for the spring race in March, then I have to wait all the way to November for the fall race, but then I'm back there in March again. So it's like, oh, it's only it's like the first week of March. Yeah, it's like 4.5 months away, but then I have to wait like 7 months, 6 months to go. But it's funny. I had my tickets for spring purchased before I bought my tickets to the November race, which is odd. But
you're lucky. I have to wait a year in between.
Yeah, I like having the 2 races, and there was criticism that like, does Phoenix really deserve the championship? Is that really the right track to have a championship race? Do they deserve 2 races? It's like, shut up. Leave me alone. I want my 2 races.
I wouldn't mind seeing a different track for the championship. This Phoenix seems so single file now.
If Phoenix keeps if Phoenix keeps their 2 races, I don't give a crap if it's the championship race or not. If it's not, it'll probably bring the ticket prices down, which is fine by me. I mean, they've done a great job with the facility. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you and I went to a race years ago before the renovation, and it's a top-notch facility now. They do a great job. And
yeah, I kind of want to come back and see the new layout.
I'm hoping maybe in the spring, maybe we I mean, I've already bought the Xfinity tickets, but maybe we try a cup race. I just haven't with the kids because they're the attention span, and then in the spring my kid with the ear infection having a total meltdown in the stands because it was the ear infection and the liquid, the fluid in the ears was causing really bad vibrations, and we left after like 3 laps, and I was just like, I don't mind because the Xfinity tickets for kids are free. Had I paid like $75 for a Cup Series ticket for each kid, for each of us,
maybe a little different.
I would have been a little more. I mean, yeah, okay, I understand. Like, this wasn't some made up phony problem. It was really hurting her. It was bothering her. Like, fine, like we leave, but I still can be bitter and angry over throwing $75 a person tickets down the train. I mean, the thing too, though, in the spring, we were there early for the garage tour. We were there all day already at that point before the race started. So, I mean, we saw qualification. We got a tour of the garage. The kids played in the kids area. I mean, overall, it was a good day. Like, despite the fact we didn't see much of the race, but fine. Hopefully get a better more time this weekend.
And one race I think I am going to be trying to get to for sure is the Return to the Brickyard.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. So let's see. So if you're out to Phoenix Raceway on Saturday, come look for me in section 160. So I will be there. I don't know what hat. I'll probably be wearing I don't know. As I knock my mic cover off there. I'll probably be wearing this hat this weekend. So you see the Stadium Scene TV hat, you have found me. Say hi. Because what do I like more than complete strangers coming up to me and like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, leave me alone. I don't know you.
What would still be hilarious to do? We go to a
Oh,
race.
yeah.
One of us walk up to the other and go, "Oh my God, are you so and so?"
Or just pay kids to come up and ask you for your autograph.
Just walk up like, "Can I have your autograph?" And then everybody else is looking like, "Who is that? They're signing stuff. Should I get the autograph too?" Then end up signing like 5 or 6 of them.
Here's what you do is we got to turn this into some viral marketing thing. So you have to wear either your FR Racing shirt or your Garage Talk shirt, and we just pay a bunch of kids $1 each, and have them. It's like, here, go up with this piece of with this little piece of paper and a pen. Go up and ask him for his autograph. Here's $1. Like, and then eventually people are going to catch on. They're going to start filming, and somebody's going to put that on the internet. It's like, kids keep coming up and asking this guy for his autograph, but I have no idea who he is. Who is he? And then it goes on to Reddit. It goes viral, and everyone's like, I have no idea who this guy is.
You can do custom cards on the Topps website. Get some
Oh man, can you imagine? We make our own like hero card. You just come walking into a racetrack with about 100 hero cards and just like, here, kid, here's $1. Go ask this guy for here. Take this hero card and go have that guy sign it for you.
That'd be funny.
Oh man, that would be the viral marketing moment of the year. That is what would put us over the top right there. Just like, who is that guy? Who is he? And then
some random person in iRacing who's not even that great.
And then it's some random mediocre iRacing driver. Oh man, that would be so funny. We gotta figure out how to make that actually happen, because like I sense so much good comes out of that for attention wise.
Gotta bet on yourself.
I mean, what would be more worth it? You pay like $30, print some little hero cards, go to Staples and buy a bunch of a box of cheap pens. You hit $1 per hero card. You're looking at like $100 potentially for.
I think on Topps it's like 10 or 20 custom cards for $10.
You don't even have to do that. You just go get some. Go to Staples and print some hero cards on some small card stock. Get like 100 of it for like $10. Maybe probably a little bit more than 10. But what would be would be better is you do that in public for $100, or you spend $100 trying to boost your social media ad.
Know which one to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be phenomenal. On that note, should have an announcement coming soon on the AFSP 200. Might have a different number on it. We might be changing the tracks based on some discussions we had this week. Might have a pretty high profile attendee. Not gonna say any more because I'm gonna jinx us.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's gonna be some conversations had with a high profile individual, and this individual says yes, It's gonna be a great event.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a phenomenal event, and cross your fingers. Although they did say that this high profile event will be in Phoenix this week, so maybe I have to find my way. Here, let me talk to this high profile figure involved in NASCAR somehow. That's it. I'm shutting up now. I don't want to say a name.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, because then it's not going to happen. Like, wow, you're a liar, man. You just lied, threw some name on there, try to get people to come to your charity race. No, we're gonna wait and make it official before we say anything further. But hopefully, should have an announcement coming soon. Might switch from next gen to trucks, which I'm fine with that. I told the person I was having this discussion with today that if you were able to pull off this guest, I said I'll ride a tricycle around my whole neighborhood. If you can pull that off, and I'll film it too.
I want to ride a red tricycle dressed as Jigsaw anyway. I'm a little late on Halloween, but
oh yeah, I mean, just missed it. Yeah, well, and we were walking through the neighborhood for Halloween. There was a kid who's in one of my kids' classes. You know, these are kindergartners, and kids dressed as the Grim Reaper. 5 years old, dressed as the Grim Reaper, as the sickle, whatever it's called. And afterwards, my kids are like, "What was he supposed to be? Oh, he's the Grim Reaper. What's the Grim Reaper? Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it some other time." At least it wasn't like what was that? What's the name of the character from Scream? Ghostface. Ghostface. The funniest costume I saw, and it took serious commitment because it was teenagers, and there's two schools of thought on teenagers and trick or treat. One is like, you're too old to be trick or treating, but the other thought is, you know what, a piece of candy, you going out and getting some candy as a 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, I'd much rather you do that than some of the other things you could potentially be doing that evening.
You go out vandalizing,
exactly,
stealing.
So these kids are like 14, 15, 16 years old. They're all dressed as SWAT team members in full tactical gear. And they have the rifles and everything, and SWAT, and they got the full uniforms. And the best part of it is they're in formation, going 2x2 formation down the street together, and then they'd stop, and then they'd turn, and in 2x2 formation would go up the driveway to the house, and they stop, and somebody would ring the doorbell as they're standing there. I'm like, okay, that right there, like, no one should get mad at a teenager trick-or-treating for that, because they went full on that performance, and it was phenomenal. I was like, yes, you guys are awesome.
That's great. Probably airsoft players or something.
Yeah, I mean, they were plastic, they were toys that they were carrying for sure, but still, it was just funny to see these 2x2 formation SWAT team teenagers marching down the street, high stepping it down the street.
That's awesome. They practiced it too.
Yeah, they were like right in line with each other. Nobody got out of step. Like, it was great. Just like, man, you kids, if I had candy to give you right now, I would fill your candy bucket, but I don't. So
that's great.
As we enter November, somehow, don't know how it's November already, but we're gonna be off. Probably wrap up the season of this show for the year here, probably after Las Vegas would be my guess. Take December off. Get back into racing in January, get back into the show in January.
Yeah, pay attention to social media for upcoming season schedules.
And we're multi-streaming again. Thank you, Twitch. So this is great that this is simulcast on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook for both our account, and then when we go to Stadium Scene TV, the replay on Saturdays. So you get to see us in more places, just what you wanted, I know.
Send along your questions or thoughts.
Insults.
Yes, please insult us.
Doesn't hurt my feelings. Hey, you suck.
Maybe max of like 1 or 2 per show, but I'll take a shot of Malort for every insult you give us.
Oh, you just
we'll see what that does.
I think you just opened a can of worms there. Maybe like
max of 1 per person.
Yeah, we're gonna have 400 insults for next week in the mailbag.
Yeah, it'll take me 200 shows to get through them all.
Yeah, we got.
I'm only doing 1 or 2. I'm not getting hammered every show. Sorry.
Yeah,
folks.
I've only done that one time, and we had to cut out half that episode.
But if it has some fun and we want to engage with our viewers,
we've got some guests coming up. We have to have. We still haven't had Mark Vickers on for his summer GT3 season win. We got to have Tyler on as our first 2-time champion.
Yep.
Back-to-back ARCA champion for that matter. So I'll have Tyler on. He was just at Martinsville over the weekend.
Yeah, he was.
So he went up.
We gotta get Derek Booker to.
Yeah, I gotta get Derek to come on,
hang out with us.
Who accused us of a conspiracy of plotting to take him out in the championship race.
Yeah, he listened to us talking. Wait a second.
Yeah, the next morning after the episode a couple weeks ago aired, he's like, "Hey, I just listened to Garage Talk. I don't have a good feeling about next week. I think you guys are conspiring against me." Actually, no, we weren't. We had a discussion like, what do we do? Awesome. No, he's really good. Trying to work on the recruiting for IndyCar. Is it going to be on Tuesdays again next year, or are you pushing it to a different day?
As of right now, Tuesdays. I still got to put a couple feelers out there to a group, and I want to keep racing in it, but I also want to maybe explore some other things that's out there.
I mean, I feel like one of these days, the broadcast will come back.
Yeah, broadcast comes back. I'm definitely in.
Yeah. There's been people. Remember that a while back, somebody threw together this like USF 2000 league or
that had like 25 drivers.
Yeah, allegedly 25 drivers. It was going to be broadcasted. They were starting like 3 weeks later, and then nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. It's like, where did that go? Like, what happened, guys? But it's just like, if we want to do an open wheel oval competition, like that's what we have to do. Either that or we have to go to that IR01.
No.
Part of me wants to get into a Dallara Dash just to see, because I have not done a Dallara Dash since they switched to that IR01. And
me either.
I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not like.
And if you get in a race by yourself, you win.
Yeah. But it's unofficial, so it doesn't count. So I have to say the Carb Cup varying up their schedule this season has been pretty cool. I mean, it's like I get that defeats the purpose of the Carb Cup, but going to Talladega, Daytona, iRacing Super Speedway, and Monza Oval every time is just like, nah. I mean, they've got Texas in there, they got Auto Club mixed in. It was a good schedule. There's a couple. I mean, they still have iRacing Super Speed. There's like 2 weeks of iRacing Super Speedway. It's like, yeah. I need to figure out some oscillations on my some Magic Alpha. I'm hoping it was just a bad release. But the weird thing is I took a different car out onto an oval and it wasn't doing that. It was just doing that when I was using the IR18 on I Road America. So I have no idea what's going on there. Oh yeah, Charlotte was the other Carb Cup in Michigan. Yeah, they mix Auto Club in there. They mix Texas. It's like, get a couple more of those.
Yeah, it's good to see those.
I think they could probably throw Homestead into that mix. I think you put a bunch of rookies in a next gen and in a short race at Homestead, and it would go moderately okay.
The upper splits, yes.
I did one draft man. Have you done draft master yet?
I haven't yet.
I did one
I want
and
to.
I got I made 2 laps before I got caught up in